there, my name is Sewa and welcome to my YouTube channel. You probably guessed from the title of the video that I'm doing something a little bit different today. We're doing a get ready with me chit chat style video. I wanted to take this time just to get to know you guys and share a little bit more about myself in a more casual video, as well as the fact that it is Valentine's Day, and if you're like my husband and I, you didn't go out on Valentine's Day, but you're going out this weekend, so wanted to share this look that I'm going to be rocking this Saturday when we go out on our Valentine's Day date night. And so if you guys are interested in learning a little bit more about me, as well as seeing how I put together this look, stick around and watch the video. As the beauty gurus on YouTube say, if you're interested in any of the products I used in this video, it's all gonna be linked in the description box below. With that, let's jump right in. So first things first, you guys should know I'm an oily girl. So I use this BECCA Ever Matte Poreless Priming Perfector. And I've heard it referred to as glue for your face, but that's what I need as an oily girl. So I put about that much on it. Let's see if I make a liar out of myself. Yeah, about that much. And I just kind of rub it on with my fingers. Yes, I don't mind using my fingers. In any case, I got it some time ago and it's really worked well. Last summer, I did a project with my sister. We had a shoot in summer. If you know summer in Dallas, it's hot. And she was just amazed. She was like, why are you not sweating through your makeup? And it's because I had the combination of this BECCA primer and Estee Lauder Double Wear. I am telling you, this stuff does not move. And that's what I need. I think when I worked in corporate America, 12, 13, 14-hour days, this thing riding strong. Of course, you kind of have to, as an oily girl, kind of sop up the fat that's, the grease that's all over your face. But for the most part, it was good. Anyway, so according to the beauty gurus, Beauty Blender is where it's at. So that is what I use. But I feel like it sops up a lot of the foundation that I put on. So I tend to use a lot of it, I think. In any case, so the reason I wanted to do this get ready with me video was not only to figure out what it is I'm gonna do for my Valentine's Day makeup, but also to get to know you guys. I know I jumped in to doing content, and my intro video, yes, did talk a little bit about who I was and why I was trying to launch this YouTube channel, but I thought I'd sit down a little bit informally, casually, and share a little bit more about myself. And if you guys like this format of videos, please just let me know in the comments, and I'm happy to do more of these kind of get to know me casual chats. So in my intro video, I mentioned I am a mom of 2 little girls, and I will tell you the shade I use is Amber Honey, and this tends to be my winter shade. I tend to be lighter in the winter, but I will tell you that being pregnant the second time around really changed my complexion to where my neck and my face seem to be darker than the rest of my body now, but that shifts around. It's kind of weird. So I probably need to go back in and get my shade just rechecked a little bit. But for now, Amber Honey in Estee Lauder's Double Wear is what I use. And yes, so 2 babies, had them all, I can't talk while I do this to myself. 2 babies, had them both while I was working on Wall Street. I left my job on Wall Street last August, and it's something that was a long time coming, a long time coming for me. I absolutely knew I wanted to start a business of my own at some point, but I guess I didn't really share that with a lot of people at work. And so they were definitely surprised when I put in my notice, but I think it was time. I think At the time, I was still going through my MBA, and I learned so much in the MBA program. I met so many phenomenal people that it really gave me that last ounce of courage I needed to make the leap. And I'm so glad I did, simply because I felt like I could make more of a direct impact on people, working through my own consulting firm, directly touching the issues that were most important to people, business owners, from front to back. I think when you work in a large corporation, sometimes you only see a piece of the whole pie, and I just wasn't satisfied with that any longer. So I had to try it for myself. So I gave myself a year. Now, when most people, for some people, when they think about going into doing their own business, I think the tendency is side hustle, which is definitely a good way to do it. Side hustle until you know you've proven something out and you have enough money to sustain you. I think in my case, I went more the let me save enough for the time I think it's going to take me to get up and running, and then that kind of gives me a little bit of comfort to experiment. Now, of course, when I say experiment as someone who is so much of a planner, who makes more calculated moves than, hey, let's just jump in and see how it goes. So I'm using Brow Stylist. I think this is a L'Oreal eyeliner. It's drugstore, that's for sure. I use a mix of drugstore and I don't know, what's the opposite, high-end? Not really high-end, because I don't spend that much on my makeup. I'm not that one who goes out and buys makeup every time there's a new release. I just get what is good for me, and that's what I stick to. So this is L'Oreal Brow Stylist Sculptor. I have two shades. I use the brunette for kind of the inner part of my eyebrow, and it's worn down. And then I use the dark brunette for the outer part. I'll show you how I do that. So I hope you guys aren't distracted too much by the mirror I'm holding here, but what was I saying? This is going to be interesting, an interesting exercise in multitasking. But last word on this one, it comes with this wax end. I never use it. And so it's a little bit of a waste. I wish they made a brow stylist that didn't have the wax end, because then I would have more of the brow pencil part. In any case, so yes, I decided to leave and start my own consulting company. And also in August, I launched a podcast called She's Off Script. And it's, I guess, self-titled in that a lot of people thought I was going off script, because they expected that I would be a lifer in that company and work my way all the way to partner. Good assumption, just because I loved what I was doing. I excelled at what I was doing. I was well compensated for it. My efforts were being recognized. It just, in my heart of hearts, wasn't what I wanted to do long term. I think everyone goes through those stages and phases where they're exploring. I got comfortable. I think that's really what it was. The money was good, the lifestyle was good, the balance not so great, and I think that probably helped to push me over the line as far as coming into my own business, simply because I could better balance and dictate my schedule. So anyway, the podcast is called She's Off Script because I thought it should be a little bit more accepted for people to do this. I think in the age of unicorns like Facebook and Twitter and things of that, or companies like that, we've seen it popularized in the media, but I think everyone in their minds thinks it's for those people, right? They don't think people around them can do it. And so I wanted to just share stories of women who are doing it, in particular women of color, just so that hopefully I can do my part just to change the narrative that's out there about who an entrepreneur is. But quite frankly, the statistics these days tell us that women of color, women in general, are growing as far as the proportion of women entrepreneurs that we see out there. So it should be a little bit more widely accepted, but I think when women dive into it, women of color in particular, they're doing it without having, known a mom, an aunt, a sister, or someone close to them who's done it before. And so the people around them are probably looking at them like, what are you doing? They're worried for you because, doctor, lawyer, engineer, they know what the path is to get there. When you tell them that you want to be, a social media influencer, they do not know what that means. They do not know how you're going to make a living doing that. So I just use that as an example because that's just a popular choice these days. So yes, I use this darker one over on this side, just so it kind of, maybe it's like more of an ombre effect where it fades out. And then what am I looking for? I think I should have been a little bit more organized. Hats off to the beauty influencers that do this on YouTube because they definitely, I'm sure, have their methods down packed. I definitely do not. But I thought that this would be a good casual way to get to know you guys while I figure out what I want my Valentine's Day look to be. Well, I'm just moving right along. So the next thing I do is I use this Soft Ocher paint pot as a base for my eyeshadow. And as I said, I used to use a different paint pot. I don't know what it was called, but the guy at the MAC counter recommended I use this one. And I feel like it's super light. I mean, you could see it on the camera. It's super light. But I guess that's what a base is supposed to do. It's supposed to give you a good foundation for your eye makeup so that the colors actually show up. I don't know. That's what they tell me. I do spend a lot of time on YouTube watching people like Jackie Aina, Nitra B, the Glam Twins, and so they've really helped me learn a lot about makeup as someone who didn't grow up wearing makeup. My mom didn't grow up wearing makeup, and until we moved to the U.S., that is. So you guys know the name Sewa is Ghanaian. I'm West African, and moved to the U.S. in like 1999. So I've been here a long time. I was a kid when we moved here. So I use this as a base for, I guess I didn't show you that I'm using the Anastasia Beverly Hills palette, Modern Renaissance. And people raved about this for the longest time. But as I said, I'm not that one who goes out and buys new makeup whenever I see it. So I didn't get it for the longest time until people were like, okay, you've got to do this. And I didn't. I don't regret it. So then I think I'll take raw sienna as well and, put that on as a little bit more of a warmer base. So yeah, what else do we want to know about me? Because as I think about it, I had a little bit of an intro video to this channel and then dove into a little bit more content, but I thought I'd take a step back and get to know you guys a little bit. So I've talked about the podcast and why I started that, and I really hope I can do my part to move the needle on the narrative of who an entrepreneur can be, or just not really just entrepreneurship, just living life in a different way, doing things differently. Like, for example, we had Monet Hambrick on the podcast, who is the founder of The Traveling Child, and she travels with her kids and started traveling when she was pregnant. When people told her, you are about to have a baby, your traveling days are over, and she said, let me show you. And so it's just about doing things that are probably contrary to the popular belief or opinion or way of doing things. So I love that. I think I've always been that, mini rebel. I probably don't come off as the rebel, but I think as a middle child, you probably get away with murder just because you move in silence, which is what I did. Yes, Mom, if you're watching this, you don't want to know. So then I guess we're doing Valentine's Day makeup. So I'm gonna do the red ochre here. They say buff it out, right? So that's what I'm gonna do. Buff it, buff it. I'm curious to see how good this makeup comes out, especially since I'm distracted doing it. Modern Renaissance. So other than that, other than the Modern Renaissance palette, I have these Estee Lauder palettes. I have 3 of them. My mom is an Estee Lauder junkie, I want to say. She constantly uses them, I think mostly for their beauty skincare products. And because those skincare products are pricey, they're constantly giving her free things. And so she gave us this new pack that they had of full-size things. But as usual, not every palette is gonna work for you or work for people of my skin tone. So this one is the only one that I used. It's called Pure Color Envy Eye and Cheek Palette. This is the Glow. This one is the Glam, and I guess I could use that, but this is a little bit, maybe this screams New Year's Eve to me. A little bit more of the shimmery blues and silvers, and that's just not my everyday makeup. And then this one's a little bit more neutral. It's called Nudes. Yeah, okay, aptly named. But I think ABH is kind of where I start. Ooh, I guess this is more evening, right? So let's see. This is more evening. I don't know. Am I gonna do the whole, let me brush out the fallout. Am I gonna do the whole, what's it called? Yeah, sure, why not? I think let's prolong the time we're spending together. I meant, by the whole, I meant this, what do they do? What do they call this? Baking, where you put concealer over here and highlight a little bit. This is the LA Girl Pro Wear, I guess they call it. Professional makeup artists, feel free to drag me. I do not mind constructive feedback, so I can improve on my skills. So what do I find challenging about entrepreneurship? I would say, fighting the urge to work all the time, holding my phone at the dinner table. I try not to do that. Also, just, I don't know. I do like a lot. I think I like everything about being an entrepreneur, but there are a lot of ups and downs because you're learning on the go. You're trying to figure out how certain things work, and it's not always, I would say, roses and sunshine. So I know there are a lot of entrepreneurs that fall into depression just because there are lots of high highs and low lows. So it's important to have people around you that you can check in with, that prop you up, that remind you that it's okay, it's not the end of the world if something doesn't go exactly how you want it to go. But also just remembering that this is a marathon and not a sprint. Rome wasn't built in a day. And it's just so important that you pace yourselves and don't expect strategies that you put in place to, magically work overnight. The other thing that I think is so interesting about this online space of entrepreneurship is that there are a lot of people out there selling that magic pill, and it's interesting having to wade through and cut through the noise of who actually knows what they're talking about. And I think you can tell pretty quickly after you jump into someone's webinar or you jump into someone's course and you find that there's a lot of fluff here, or you check it against your industry knowledge and you're just like, yeah, I don't know what you're talking about. So that's been interesting about the world that I've been wading in the past few months. So what else am I doing? How am I looking? What do you guys think? How am I looking? Okay. You know, my skin's been looking better lately. That's one other thing that I just find that I don't do well is I'm not taking good care of myself. I think I'm just work. There are no colleagues to say, hey, let's get up and go have lunch, right? And so I tend to work right through lunch and I'm not drinking as much water as I should. So if you listen to my last entrepreneur update, my off-script update on my podcast, I talked about how I want to drink more water. I want to be working out more regularly and I'm not doing that. So I'm a work in progress. I will get there, but it's taking me time to get there. Let's see. Okay, let's do the eyes. So once again, Estee Lauder. This is the Sumptuous Extreme. I love it. It's huge and it works well. But before that, eyeliner. This is another drugstore. It's the Maybelline Master Precise All Day. And you're seeing a theme. I like things that last all day, and that's just the remnant of my corporate life where I needed the makeup to work. I needed it to last. So this is like a fine tip. I don't know if you can tell there, but so I'm back with the eyelashes done, and whew, that was a little bit challenging, and I don't know, something's off with it, but so I'm back with the eyelashes, and it takes a little bit to get them done, and that's why I do them off camera. I'm still just not great at doing eyelashes, but you know, we're getting there. But anyway, I just wanted to do this so I can show more of an everyday side to this world of entrepreneurship. Entrepreneurs are just normal everyday folks that are doing normal everyday stuff. It's not all Silicon Valley and all of that. Well, since it's Valentine's Day, I'm going with this Anastasia Beverly Hills. You're seeing a theme. I just found a brand and I stuck with it. I'm going with their, what is this? Their Sarafine red color. And I mean, I do have other brands I wear. I have MAC lipsticks, I have Estee Lauder lipsticks, courtesy of my mom. I have Lip Bar, love Lip Bar as well. Really. And this is Estee Lauder once again. They have this Amber Honey. I think it matches my foundation. So that works, okay? And, this is super glam. I think I'm gonna finish this off with Charged Water Skin Hydrating Mist from MAC. So this is the mineralized. There you have it. I hope you enjoyed my Get Ready With Me video. What do you think? I hope you enjoyed that video. I certainly had a fun time trying to figure out how to, keep my train of thought while also talking to you guys about what it is that I'm doing right now. Hopefully you enjoyed it and found it, at the very least, interesting. I would love it if you would subscribe to my channel. I make 2 videos a week on living your next level life, entrepreneurship, and productivity. Hopefully I'll see you back for the next one.